Greetings, everyone. Welcome to WDWL TV's Grumpy Old Man Gripe. Today's gripe is going to be kind of a twofold. First of all, recently I was down at that shopping plaza they built, down by the old J&L Steel property. And I was shopping in we'll refer to the store as Tall Cart. And I only had six little items and went over to the express line. And just as I was about to step in line, this woman with this cart with about 200 items in it whips in front of me and starts throwing stuff up on the line. So I kind of looked at her and she looked at me, and I looked up at the sign that said 15 items or less. And she continued to put her items up. We made eye contact again. I looked at her. I looked back up at the 15, and this time I pointed. Didn't phase her. Kept putting her items up on the belt. Well, finally, after her 200 items got rang out, I put my six little items on the belt and paid for my purchase. Walked over to the service desk and asked the girl to page the store manager. And she asked me if she could help me. And I asked her if she was the store manager. And she said, no, I'm the front end service representative. I said, well, I would like the store manager. So she paged him. In a couple of minutes, he showed up. And I says to him, you've got an express aisle right there, 15 items or less. I says, woman puts 200 items on the belt. Cashier doesn't say anything. He steps back and says, sir, I apologize, but we're not allowed to. I says, what do you mean you're not allowed to? He says, if someone, no matter how many items, walks up to a register and starts putting their items on the belt, we can't stop them. I said, then what's the use of an express register if it's not going to be express? I says, I probably would have got through one of the other lines quicker if I wouldn't have stood in the express line. He says, there was a federal lawsuit that was filed. People felt they were being discriminated against because they would have had to stand in the long line, and here was a empty register, so they can't be refused. Now, I don't know if this is every store's policy, but that finished me from shopping there, because what's the use of an express line if it's going to be used like a regular register? And I wasn't the only person with less than 15 items. I mean, there were people griping behind me, but that's part of the gripe for today. My second gripe is these check yourself out registers. Well, let me tell you, I refuse to use a do it yourself register. For the main reason is, for every register you see that is a check me out register, there are 2 to 3 people put out of work. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how many times, especially going to that home improvement store with the orange sign, they'll be, they're usually empty. What good is it having empty registers when you could employ people and give people jobs that need work? But, you know, It started with the pump your own gas, and I can't remember the state. I want to say New England, but I'm you can't quote me on it. There is one state that refused to go to pump it yourself, and it's still full serve. They check your oil, they check your tire pressure, and the gas prices didn't go up. I mean, there are some stations that, and there's one Sunoco station in Lakewood that I know of positively that charges an extra 10 cents a gallon for full serve, which I think's a bunch of crap. But hey, you know, it's a privately owned station, and Sunoco has no control over that. But I there was another thing that put I don't know how many thousands of people out of a job, because when we had gas stations where they pumped your gas, another thing is, there were a lot of engines that got saved by the guy pulling that dipstick and going, "Hey, you don't have any oil in your car." But that's modern technology and the way the world is going. So hey, you know, I'm just one person, but I hope you got a good laugh out of today's gripe, and we'll have another one for you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good day.